Hey y'all, this is Toya. You're tuned in to Healthy Talks and Walks with Toya, where we are generational curse breakers that are growing in the uncomfortable. Hey y'all, so real quick, if you're new to my channel, my name is Latoya Calhoun. I am a wife by faith. I'm a mother. I am a transformational speaker and I am a life coach. I also am a notary. I've been forgetting to say that. Also, we sell coffee mugs and t-shirts that says Generational Curse Breaker and Growth is in the Uncomfortable at autumnfaithcompany.com. So go over there and get your stuff. Yes, use it as a gift, birthday gift, Christmas gift, whatever you want to give. Just want to be a blessing to somebody. Thank you. Okay, so I've been talking about attachment styles, and if you have not been up to speed on what that is, go check it out on my other things. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share because it may bless somebody else. So today we're going to be talking about the avoidant attachment style. And to be honest with you guys, I don't know, my heart just feels so like heavy with this one. I think because I have experienced it a lot in my life, interacting with people that have the avoidant attachment style. And so we're going to jump right into it. So I got my notes. I be doing my research now. Research, I mean google.com. So y'all can go find this information if you would like to. But if you want me to report it to y'all, I can do that too. Okay, so the avoidant attachment style, the core characteristics is discomfort with emotional intimacy, fear of vulnerability, strong emphasis on independence, difficulty trusting others, emotional distance, suppressions of needs, and difficulty forming and maintaining close relationships. And so what does that look like in real time? People that are very surface, they have superficial relationships. You'll interact with them and you will think everything is great, but y'all would never really go deep because they avoid deep, intimate relationships. Part of that is because, let me go into how this happens. Again, I do want to take a moment to say that nobody is trying to bash anybody's parents. People they gave what they had, and if they didn't have it to give, they couldn't give you something they didn't have. So some of the reason people have the avoidant attachment style is developing in mostly early childhood where their children were suppressed, their emotions were suppressed. Like an example I've seen or hear this often where they say men have a hard time being vulnerable. But I have found lately, as I've been talking to a lot of women, they have been, don't know how to be vulnerable either. And some of it, again, is because it's due to emotional neglect or inconsistency in parenting. The child need for safety and security and emotional validation are not consistently met. So they learn to suppress their emotions, right? For example, a child who frequently experience emotional rejection, like if you're crying or you're upset or whatever and everybody just dismiss it like it's not important, you learn to suppress those emotions and act like they're not there when even though they are there because you're a human being, right? And so what happens is the reason that, so the impacts on relationship, I'll move to that. So the impacts on the relationships is individual with avoidant attachment may struggle with intimacy in relationships. And so again, like I've always said, intimacy doesn't mean just physical intimacy. Intimacy, again, going deep beyond just the surface level conversation. They may find it difficult to express their emotional needs, like, hey, I actually need some closeness or whatever. They have a hard time sharing that. They also they feel misunderstood at this point because they can't share what they actually need because it's such a struggle. Another thing is too, they're prone to withdrawing from relationships when faced with emotional challenges. When they're feeling like they love a person or when they're feeling are close to a person, right? They tend to start rejecting those relationships because that fear of intimacy, that it's like I can't even explain it. It's very tough to explain because I'm so far opposite, but they feel these things, but they cannot express what they feel. So they're feeling misunderstood and their needs are consistently not being met because they don't have the language to express what they actually need because they don't know how to really be vulnerable. The consequences and the potential consequences of how this impacts relationships is basically they have walls up, like invisible walls, but you can feel the distance with them. And so that hinders a person, if it's in a marital relationship, for your spouse to get close to you. And a lot of the times this person would generally try to go through hard things by themselves. So that's why it presents itself in this hyper independence. Oh, I don't need nobody. I got it. They don't want anybody to be close enough. They don't want to depend on people because possibly they depended on someone and it didn't work out. So it's this hyper independence. Another thing I found out is too, if you've been constantly exposed to loss, like on the anxious like attachment style, when they've lost a lot of people and things like that, they cling on. Well, this person generally pulls back, so they don't allow themselves to get so close. So if this person leave or whatever, they aren't hurt, so their body or their mind, it shuts down them from feeling anything because the fear of feeling that pain of loss again. And so again, that hinders a relationship, because where we are to bond and get close with each other, again, in marital relationships, but also too in friendships, right? It's hard for a person to be there for you or show up for you in the best way when they don't know how to. And it's hard for them to know how if you can't communicate. And it's hard for you to communicate because you have all these emotions that's been suppressed. So you've been taught to suppress them. And it's just, again, not beneficial. So, they have difficulty seeking support and asking for help. So they try to take on a lot of stuff on their own, and they try to be Superman or Superwoman. And we know that that's not beneficial, right? So they have negative impacts on self-esteem. The belief is that one is unlovable, unworthy of support, and can negatively impact self-esteem. Another thing I have found in that is that they are very critical of themselves and sometimes of others as well. And so they can use some self-compassion. So how do they learn to be compassionate? Being in relationships with people that give them compassion, people that actually show up, people that actually stay consistent. And then, I don't always like to just talk about what the issue is. I also like to give help to that. So how do we get help, right? Because this whole thing is about healing, right? On the journey to healing. It's healthy talks and walks with Toya, right? So the healing is first off self-awareness. Being aware that, hey, maybe I'm having trouble with connecting with people on deeper levels. The reason this is important is because we're meant to do life in community. And so if you don't have personal relationships with people, then sometimes your life can feel void. And so first off, again, self-awareness, therapy, to kind of talk about and explore how did you get to this place, some experiences that have taken place that got you to this place. And then the next thing is learning to try to support people in small increments, looking like, hey, can you meet me here? And actually these people that are in your life showing up and actually doing what they say they're going to do. Now, again, nothing is 100%, so this may not be you in totality, but if you find that some of these things are presenting themselves in you, again, discomfort with emotional intimacy, you don't want to share anything that's deep, fear of vulnerability, again, don't want to share anything that's deep, strong emphasis on hyper independence, oh, I don't need nobody to help me, and don't show up for me, and things like that, difficulty in trusting others. Again, that just describes what it is. Emotional distance, when you have walls up against people, and suppression of needs because you can't share that you need something from somebody because you don't feel comfortable being vulnerable, and difficulty forming and maintaining close relationships. So it can be people that you talk to here and there, and you don't have to talk to these people every day for the relationship to be deep and meaningful. And so, yeah, that's it for this. Come back next week and we're going to be talking about the next one. I hope you learned something. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share because it may bless somebody else. Peace.